on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Good afternoon, and
It's
welcome
not
to...
afternoon, it's morning.
Hey,
You just walked in the door and you think you could just come in here and read the script like that and say, good afternoon. You don't even realize it's morning. You're 20 minutes late and you don't even realize it's morning. Read the script the right way.
good morning,
Better.
Vietnam. Welcome to Investor Schooling Live, coming to you from Investor Schooling headquarters. I'm Phil Falcone here with my business partner, Larry Steinhouse. Larry's early for everything that he does.
And Phil's late for everything he does.
But he doesn't understand that cool people are always late. Okay? We are the founders of Investor Schooling. Get ready to learn real estate investing and stock option trading. Call us anytime during the show with your questions at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. That's right, we're a live program, so you can call us anytime during the show, and we will take your calls. Don't worry about what we're talking about, because we love to take your calls. Investor Schooling is located in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, serving the Philadelphia area in a real brick-and-mortar building. We are local guys, accessible to our students a minimum of 2 nights per week. Learn this business, the business of real estate investing and stock option trading from people who live it every day. What's happening, Larry?
Hey, Phil. I just had to have some fun. I mean, literally, guys, if you guys were listening to this show, I'm telling you, the music rolled, and I see Phil going by the window, and I'm like, well, come on here and do your intro that you normally do. So that was kind of cool that we actually pulled it off. I'm
Let me ask you something. I know you went to public school, but do you know how to read? Because you could have read the script for me.
Oh, no, but you were here, so, this is your job. Your job on this show is to read that script. That's it.
See, if you played,
Everything else, you could be quiet. Just stop talking now.
if you played tennis like I do in the morning, when one of the guys runs to the left, you run to the right to cover the other side. You see? You should play tennis so you would understand that it's teamwork.
Well, it is teamwork. That's why I wanted you to do your part of the teamwork.
Well, you could have done it easily.
Anyway.
So this is an interesting
Well, welcome
script.
aboard. But the other thing, too, that's interesting, too, is that we're on this morning at 10 o'clock, and that's probably what confused you, because we have all these games this week on PHC, so we had
What did
to...
we get? I heard we got bumped for a ping pong game. Forrest Gump is playing some guy from China.
No, I understand it. You listen to PHT a lot, right? You have a...
Sure.
we got Pedro laughing even. So you listen to PHT a lot, right? Who's your favorite non-local talk show host?
Well, I'd have to say Dom Giordano because
That's
he
local,
refers
though.
to me
That's the
as
local
the
guy.
genius.
He's a local guy, but non-local guy like Hannity or Mark Levin or even like Rush Limbaugh when he was around.
Michael Savage.
Michael Savage, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I go for the radical guys.
Really, you like that guy? Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's
Well,
my leader, actually. When he tells me it's time to go, I'm going.
You ever listen to like Mark Levin?
You understand what I just said?
Yeah, you're going.
He's my leader. When he says, Phil, it's time to go.
Does he have to ring a bell?
He just calls me.
Or
And that means I do whatever he says.
hey, we might need to go to a commercial and take you out of the show right now because I'm a little nervous, man. If you're a. By the way, what does this all have to do with finances anyway?
Well, you'd like to talk about finances?
wait,
I got a whole list of questions.
But I got a special guest on the line for you.
Who's that?
Hey, Mark, come on.
Hello there, Phil Falcone. It's Mark Levin. Let me just explain this to you, because my show gets bumped at PHT a lot as well for this, that, and the other thing, and I say it's an outrage. Shut up, you idiot.
Mark, I can't believe that Phil's actually sitting here. He never put his headphones on, so he literally didn't hear a word you just said.
This is what I said, okay? Now, if everybody can just put their earphones on and listen to me for just a minute, because here's the problem. I start out really like with a soft voice. Hello, my friends, Mark Levin here, and let me explain this and then tell you a little bit about that. And then I just start going into a rage right now because a bunch of people are nitwits out there and they don't know what they're doing. That's right, I said it.
You have any questions for Mark?
Well, if this was the real Mark, I would have some questions for him.
Well,
What do you mean it's not the real Mark? I'm the real Mark Levin.
I listened to the real Mark Levin show, and you might be a distant cousin of him. You might be the guy who handled his Shabbat, but you're not Mark Levin.
How about Sean Hannity? Is Sean Hannity there too?
And you know what it is. I mean, if you listen to the show, Investor Schooling, and we got a great show for you today. Don't forget Hannity, Fox News Channel. Don't forget to set your DVR. And look, here's the thing. With the Obama Mania media, and let me just look at my guest list here. We got Bill O'Reilly coming up. Newt Gingrich's in the program. Ann Coulter's going to join us.
Hey, Sean, I got a question for you. Who's funnier, Phil or Larry?
I'd have to say it'd be Larry, and if you've seen Larry's studio, it's great. I've done some broadcasts out there as well. And don't forget Hannity, Fox News Channel. Don't forget to set your DVR.
All right, everybody. That is our awesome producer, Jim Kelly. He's over in PHT, and he was doing some impersonations for me this morning, and I just had to let Phil in on these impersonations. Isn't he good?
Yes.
He's not bad, right?
Yeah. Can he do Michael Savage? Can he call me and tell me it's time to go?
I've never listened to the Michael Savage show, so I couldn't tell you.
Really?
Are you ready to do Phil Falcone yet?
Not yet, but give it time, and I'll try to work on it.
All right.
Well, as long as you think Larry's funnier than I, you and I aren't going to be buddies.
All right, Phil. What are we going to be talking about today? Besides everything but finances.
I think today should be a wing it day. I think we should just
Wing it?
roll with the
Okay.
punches. You
Well,
know?
we actually really do have a guest in the studio though.
Yeah, we do.
Which is kinda
I
cool.
see him.
So we have Dave. Dave is one of our students, and Dave brought us a package of coffee one day, and this coffee was so good that we just had to brag about it. In fact, we were supposed to have Dave was supposed to come in with a cup of coffee for us, but let him talk about his coffee, and then we'll make him go out and get us a cup of coffee. So, Dave, first of all, tell us who you are. Don't bring up the coffee yet. Tell us who you are.
Hi, Dave Hargrave here. I'm a student in class. I've been here for about 6 months. I came here for the stock options, and I tell you what, the real estate is like blowing me away too. The information they provide, and it's not just stock options in real estate. It's like how to look at money. Just changing your whole mindset. But I work for a nonprofit that helps vets get jobs, Bridging the Gap. We have coffee that we're selling in grocery stores right now, and we're going to go online soon. And I brought it into Larry and Phil to see if we could be the coffee of their, sponsored coffee of their show. So that was cool.
We drink coffee all the time.
So how do you like the coffee, Larry?
I don't know. You're supposed to bring me a cup.
Well, you had it before.
So why don't you?
Phil was late.
So hold up the coffee for the guys online. Hold up the coffee.
Hold it.
And then let's tell them how they can get some.
Well, right now you can go on. You have to go to a grocery store, ShopRite's in New Jersey. There's about 80 of them, and we're going to expand to about 150 in a couple months. And we're going to go online sales in about maybe October, November. But thecoffeeplatoon.com, you can see the locations and order it from there. It's Columbia beans, and it's gourmet coffee. It tastes great. Ask Larry, he drinks it, and it's all about military services. So I'm holding up Semper Fi. That's for the Marines. We have Army Strong, Aim High, Anchors Away, Semper Par for the Coast Guard, and then Freedom's our decaf.
Very cool, man.
Boy, I sure would like to have a hot cup of that.
All right,
coffee.
Dave, you got to go out there and get us a cup of coffee. Watch your head. You got your headphones on,
Okay.
because we've done that too. We've stood up and grabbed our headphones.
All right, coffee on the way.
All right, cool. And then we could say how good it is.
Yes, we could.
All right.
I could use a cup of coffee.
So this week and I don't want to get into it again. We were looking at a business. We don't want to talk about what it is yet because it's not under contract. But you and I were having a little bit of fun looking at this business, and it's fun. We got pretty much into it, and we explained to the seller how he's better off with seller financing than he is if he bought it straight out.
That's correct.
And that was basically because his cost basis was so low. And if he sold us this building, and I'm going to make up this number, let's say he sold us this, not building, but this business, which included real estate, by the way. And if he sold us this business, for example, for $10 million, and his cost basis was $1 million, he would have to pay capital gains on $9 million. And we came up with a plan for him that if he seller finances it, that $9 million in this example would be would be a lot less taxable to him, and a lot less tax consequences to him. Plus, it met his goals of having money to live off of for the rest of his life. And that's some of the things that we teach here at Investor Schooling is how not only the fact that we could, you could talk to somebody and buy their property with seller financing, but also how to save taxes so that the person who's selling a building or has a business. So maybe one day Dave is going to get is going to get lucky and he's going to be able to sell his business, his coffee business. We would teach him how to save taxes on that coffee business as well. All right, you ready? We're going to taste the coffee now. Let's taste this coffee. This better be good coffee, because if it's not, I'm going to be really, really upset.
It's good coffee.
Ooh, actually, this is the best cup of coffee I've had all week.
Phil seems like a tough customer, though.
He's
Phil
not-
likes to drink at least half the cup before he comments.
All right, there you go.
But
All right, so we
smells good.
Yeah.
It tastes good.
we're live on the radio drinking coffee. Think about that.
That's the Army Strong blend, Larry.
I got it. And by the way, if you guys are
Which one
online
did
and
I get?
Army Strong.
Okay.
yeah, if you guys want to call in, you can talk to us on anything that has to do with anything, including coffee. 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. You can take a free class at investorschooling.com. You could actually a complimentary class this Thursday, investorschooling.com, and you will learn all kinds of great stuff. You'll learn real estate investing, stock options investing. You will also learn how to save taxes, how to come up with creative deals. And this was a good week in the stock market, Phil.
I heard it was.
Yeah, I know you.
Not on the things I was in, though.
Really? What were you in that wasn't good?
I took a shot at J-Nug
Again?
at 56.
We got to just take
Hey,
that
look,
off
it
the
was-
list.
I think it was 56 or 55 when I bought it.
Right.
So I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah, I feel pretty good that it's going to 7, because that seems to be the experience right now.
And then I followed the tip of a shoe shine boy, who that one didn't work out either.
What was that one?
DDD.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, so a couple of things you got. So I do a show every day. If you guys don't know, I do a show called Money Chat Now. It's a live show on Facebook and YouTube, and I've been talking a lot about the China situation and Evergrande. I don't know if you guys do you know anything about what's going on with that, with Evergrande?
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. Yeah.
So Evergrande basically is the largest real estate holding company in China. Actually, the largest real estate company holding company in the world. They have the most real estate in the world, and they owe a bunch of people money, and they couldn't make the payment. And that's going to be a major disaster for them. And it reminds a lot of people of the Lehman Brothers problem. But I believe that it's not going to be as bad. But it's going to make this week bumpy, because that payment was supposed to be made Thursday. They promised they were going to make it. They didn't make it, and they kept quiet about it on Friday. The stock market didn't react yet, but I think Monday and Tuesday it's going to react. Unless they make the payment. If they make the payment, then there's no reaction. There's no.
I think
nothing.
there's a lot more going on than just that. You know about some of the topics we were talking about last night.
Yeah. And you are the biggest conspiracy theorist I've ever met.
Okay, maybe I am. But I was listening to Steve Bannon on my way in here, and he says that they've already identified 45,000 votes in 3 states that Trump would have won just with that. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, now, I don't know that that's going to change anything, but
Right.
But I think it's going to upset an awful lot of American patriots, like the individual here, who is a veteran and who is developing a wonderful coffee company. I remember when I first met you at the school, I said, hey, tell us a little bit about what you do. And I thought you named like 3 or 4 companies you were involved with, right?
I had like 3 part-time jobs.
Right.
One was like career coaching military that are getting out, like retiring or just getting out of the service, and help them, with resumes, help them with job interviews, how to do internet searches, just to help them get jobs. And that was working out great until, Biden came along and this Delta stuff, and now you got to wear masks while you teach, and I said I'm done until that stops.
It's not the Delta variant. It's the Democrat variant. Get it straight.
I agree. Yeah.
Get it straight.
It's the Delta variant, the Lambda variant, the every Greek god you can think of.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm halfway through this cup of coffee, and I'm loving it, man.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
actually it's really good. You made it better than I make it.
the coffee
so-
platoon.
So I need to know how you made it, because the mix that I make is usually too strong.
I put 10 cups of water, whatever, in the,
Right.
in the pot, and then it's 2 like heaping or 5 heaping.
Yeah, it is. It was okay. So it's basically the same ratio. Maybe it's just because you made it. Because I've always noticed that when my wife makes me coffee, it always tastes better than when I make it too.
Are you saying like I'm like a woman now?
Well, that's up to you, man. But we can't call you when we have to call you them. They.
Look, we're going to need him when my conspiracy theories come true.
Well, yeah, right.
We're going to need men with guns, men with ammo, Americans who are willing to stand up for this country and take care of the dirty business that's going to have to be done
Right.
by us.
I can
Okay.
help out with that. I got a lot of friends too.
Welcome to Investor Schooling Patriots.
I went out yesterday and bought myself a nice chunk of ammo.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about buying ammo. So ammo is not just the fact that you buying it to defend yourself, which, because if you have 1,000 rounds of ammo and you and maybe 2 other people are in a house or in a room alone, you're going to die before you get through that 1,000 rounds of ammo. We all know that, all right? But you're going to die defending yourself.
Well, it depends. I mean, when these squads, what do they call them, strike forces.
Right.
When these strike forces start coming to your house, there's a whole lot of American patriots like us who are going to shoot back at them.
But you're right. But what I'm saying, and where I'm going with this, because this is supposed to be
I know where you're going with it.
This is supposed to be an investment show.
Where he's going with it is ammunition can be a currency.
Yes, exactly.
Okay? So ammunition, if you bought, say you went out and you took $20,000 of some spare money you have and you bought nothing but ammunition. You got every kind of caliber there was. You got hollow points. You got all different kinds, right? That cannot be traced, and it is a currency. How is it a currency? Well, first of all, you could ammo, if a civil war starts, like a lot of us believe is possible, then you would be able to sell the ammo to people to raise money. And it could be in small denominations because somebody might just buy enough to fill up one clip. Other people might want to buy 1,000 rounds from you, whatever. You're going to be able to sell it and make money. What you're also going to have is something that everybody needs should there be some kind of civil disobedience.
Right, exactly. And that's why I was bringing it up, because we're also teaching people to buy gold, buy silver, hold on to it.
Yeah, but there's one more thing about ammo. It's untraceable.
It
doesn't have serial numbers.
So you're right. And silver is also untraceable to a point. Silver is untraceable, obviously, but if you're buying it online, which I am, someone knows there was a transaction. They may not have known what you've done with it since, but they know there was a transaction. So it's the same thing with the ammo. There's a transaction record somewhere, but who knows? You could have went to the range and shot off 20,000 rounds, and they would never know.
Right. Well, I didn't buy 1,000,000 rounds yesterday.
Not yet.
No. But I would say that you're a brave man when you come on a radio show and say that you buy silver and it's untraceable. Because all you have to do is find out where Larry Steinhouse lives.
Well, it's not where it's held.
Oh, yeah.
I have some on display, but the stuff I have on display, believe me, it wouldn't be worth trying to break into my house to get it and having a couple of bullets in you try to get the small amount that I have on display. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. Anyway, boy, do we certainly go off on some tangents today? It must have been because we were talking to Sean Hannity earlier and Mark Levin that made us go off
Well,
on
I got
this.
a topic here. Why don't we talk about it?
Sure, let's do it.
And, Dave, please jump in. What is the best way to build a real estate empire?
So I'm going to tell you, Dave, what do you think? Since you're a student of investor schooling, how about you answer the question?
What you guys teach is that you got to just jump in and do it. Once you learn the techniques, they'll tell you some tips on like how to use no money down, or like one gentleman in class just purchased property with his IRA. Holy smokes! Like you don't even know this stuff exists before taking this class. So you just got to go out and do it.
Thanks, man. So what do you think, Phil?
What do I think? I think when Larry was talking about this so-called business that we're thinking of buying, what he was explaining was creative financing. One of the most amazing things that you will learn from investor schooling is creative financing. There are many ways, outside-the-box ways, that people can buy real estate. And if you understand them, if you understand how to present them to a seller, even our producer, Pedro.
Well, we need to talk to Pedro and interview him about his deal just now.
Pedro just did not only one creative financing deal, but I believe he has another one in queue.
and a nice wholesale deal. Pedro, can you tell us about the deal you just did?
I got a creative finance deal, subject to. I bought a house with $250 out of my pocket. Went to closing.
$250.
Yeah, for a title search.
I'm confused, man. I'm disappointed in you that you had to pay $250 to buy a house. Don't we teach you no money out of your pocket?
Technically, I stole it from my girlfriend. It wasn't my money.
All right, well, there you go.
Kudos
then you did
to
it.
Yeah, and I left title with a $10,000 check.
Oh, wait, no, so that's good. If you came in with $250 and you left with $10,000,
Yeah.
no, that's fine. That
I
works.
got paid $10,000 to buy someone's house.
Right, and you're gonna make how much a month?
Close to $900 rent roll.
Wow, no, that's the rent roll. No, that's the profit. 900.
Yeah, almost.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I love it. So you
Way to
leave
go,
closing.
Pedro.
You leave closing with $10,000,
Correct.
and you make $900 a month.
Correct.
So you just created money out of thin air,
Like
which
magic.
is my favorite way, and this is what we teach. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. That's great. Congratulations, man. Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, we got Gary on the line from South Jersey. Why don't we talk to Gary? What's going on, Gary?
Hey, Sultan, how we doing?
Oh, I know who this is. This is like you know what happens. You get stalkers when you're on the radio, and this guy calls me like 7 times a week now to talk to me about something
No,
interesting.
come on.
All right, I know
Sultan's
it's
not here right now. He's in the
Okay,
bathroom.
Oh, okay. Hey, Phil, do Fredo.
Hey, do me a favor, Larry. Don't give this guy my phone number.
You can get it pretty easily.
All right. here we go.
I already got enough half a dozen stalkers following me around. I sure as heck don't need another one.
Phil, get
Yeah.
serious. Come on now.
All
Get
right,
serious.
Gary. All right, Gary.
Commercial property.
Yeah. Talk to me.
Commercial property.
Talk to me, Gary.
Commercial. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm waiting for you to actually get to the content. We're on radio here,
Okay,
you know.
here we go. Commercial piece of property, no realtor. First thing is letter of intent or agreement of sale.
Okay, you can take your letter of intent and blow your nose with it because it has no purpose in life. Unless
Okay, well,
the
help me.
seller is run by some
I'm
high-end
the seller.
realtor, not a realtor. There's no such thing as a realtor.
I'm sorry.
It's a realtor.
I'm sorry, Phil.
Like
I'm
doctor,
sorry, Phil. I
realtor. Doctor, realtor. If you call him a realtor, I suggest you go see your docator and have him help you with that. Okay? The other thing is...
We have to do this show at 10 o'clock in the morning all the time. We are on fire this morning.
No, it's the coffee, man. Dave's coffee.
Oh, yeah, it must be the coffee.
In fact, can I get another cup?
All right.
Let me finish this one.
Gary, so did you get a letter of intent? Is that what happened?
Larry,
Yeah.
you take over for him. He's too funny.
You're going to say that Phil's funnier than I am?
Okay.
That's it. I'm not talking to you anymore.
So really, a letter of intent is not binding. You understand that? So suppose somebody sends you a letter of intent or you send someone a letter of intent. Some other guy comes in with an agreement of sale. He gets the contract. He's got the contract signed. He locked up the property. And you're sitting there with a worthless piece of paper. Letter of
Okay,
intent,
so
forget
the
it.
first thing is,
Lawyers use
Phil,
a letter
the
of
first
intent
thing is,
so that they can charge you to do the letter of intent as well as the contract.
okay, so the first thing is go to Staples and get a contract, basically.
Wait.
Join investor schooling because you need our contract.
Well, that would help too, but I'm confused. Do you have somebody who wants to buy your property, Gary, that you've been trying to sell for over a year and a half that I
Yeah.
told you the price was too high?
Yes,
Okay.
my neighbor. They want to combine their property, and they're highly motivated.
Okay, great.
We
So
have no.
did you guys come up with a price that you want
I
to
just
buy
want-
that they want to buy it for?
He does know what the price is.
Okay.
And money's not an object with him.
Okay.
But I want to make sure I have all my ducks in order. So just get a contract first.
Okay, so you're in
and
Jersey.
Have him go to his realtor.
You don't need to go to a realtor. You're going to need in Jersey. It's customary that you guys are using attorneys anyway. So why don't you just call one of your attorneys that you know, have them put together a contract that has the price and all the terms you agreed on. Start the title search, start the move, and make it happen. Don't get hung up on letter of intent.
Okay.
You don't need any of that. Just
All right.
get it going. Move it forward.
Okay. All right, Larry.
All right,
Thanks a
Gary.
million.
You
Phil,
got it, man.
Take care, buddy.
And I look forward to talking to you again.
See you, man.
Take care, Gary. All right. So he has an interesting property. He's been talking to me for quite a while. It's I don't know if I could say it actually, but I guess I can say it because we don't know who he is. It's a ice cream stand, and he owns the building. He's owned it for many, many years. It's kind of cool. So if anybody wants to buy an ice cream stand, give me a call, and I'll put you in touch with Gary.
Yeah. Okay. Now I want to talk to Gary. Get him back on the line.
Be careful, he might call back.
Gary, call back. I love ice cream, and I have a friend in New Jersey who buys small businesses.
It's actually pretty far from here now.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty far from here.
Well, he's got 4 brothers who live in New Jersey.
There you go. See, Gary, you've been calling the wrong person all the time. You should have been calling Phil. Phil would have been able
Right.
to do it for you. But if anybody else wants to call in, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. We have absolutely no structure today because Phil didn't take the time to put together a structure and came in here 2 minutes late.
Actually, I did put together a structure, and I printed it out.
Really?
And I left it in my printer this morning when I came to here.
All right, listen, bring it. Go home and get it. And by the time you come back, the show will probably be over.
You know what? I have so much knowledge in my head. I could sit here for like a month and a half and do this show.
Well, you go right ahead.
Okay, I will.
What do you want to talk about next?
What is the best way to build a real estate empire? Because you never answered the question.
I know, you're absolutely right. The absolute best way to build a real estate empire is obviously buy a lot of real estate.
By the way, Dave just brought me my second cup of coffee.
Right.
What's that tell you? That tells you it's good.
I have to tell you, you are the most energetic I think I've ever seen you, and I've known you for quite a while.
Well, I'll tell you why. I went to play tennis at 7 o'clock this morning. I whooped everybody who played me.
Really?
People went home crying.
Wow.
People went home like they had to change their shirts because they were sweating so much. All right? I mean, I just tore them apart. I think they are never going to play me again.
Well,
Then I
okay.
came into this radio show, took over it, helped Dave, helped Gary. I mean, I'm just on a roll.
You're definitely on a roll. Matter of fact, if anybody here, if you're listening to this show and you want help, right now is the time to call. 855-939-1137, because if you call right now, 855-939-1137, you could have Phil help you right now in this mood. I mean, it must be like awesome.
Yeah. I did other great things since I last saw you, too, but I don't want to get into those.
Since last night?
Yeah.
What did you...
Well, I can't talk much about that.
Well, I mean, I know you and Terry were talking last night, and you were whispering sweet nothings in each other's ears. I saw that. Oh, is that what it's all about? Is this the first time in like months? Is that what's going on?
No.
Oh, okay.
First time in months. Come on. Who do you think you're talking to?
I don't know.
I'm a man. All right.
Look at that, man.
I take care of business.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So if you want to call 855-939-1137, you can not only talk about real estate, stock options, but we can talk about Phil taking care of business.
By the way, my wife doesn't like when you keep asking questions about things like that.
Well, you guys bring it up.
How do you know what I was talking about? I was very vague.
Dave, was he vague?
I don't know if I want to get into this one.
Oh, you don't, right? Hey, listen, that's it. No more plugs for your coffee
All right.
until you answer the question.
Yeah, he was vague.
So you're going to answer the real estate empire question?
Yeah, it's a real estate empire. So the best way to obviously buy a lot of real estate. But if you learn how to buy real estate without any money out of your pocket, you could buy how much real estate? How much real estate can you buy, Dave, if you don't have to take any money out of your pocket?
As much as you want, I guess.
As much as you can, right? As much as you want. You can just keep buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. All you have to do is find the deals.
Did you like the presentation I put together on Thursday?
Did you do a presentation on Thursday?
Where I was talking about how I built my real estate
Yeah, you actually
empire?
did. It was actually a great one. I actually really liked your presentation on Thursday.
The question that George asked me at the dinner table, I said that there was this and then there was this. And then it occurred to me, like driving home, no, that's not correct. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to write a presentation about it.
So it was kind of funny because we took a couple of students out for dinner. We went to my favorite restaurant, Capitol Grill, and we took a couple of students out for dinner who won a contest, and we had some fun with that. And then one of the students asked Phil about his first property, and I'd love
he said,
to
how'd
have
you
you
buy
tell
your
the story.
first property?
Yeah, I'd love to have you tell the story because I think it's a hysterical story.
Well, I don't know if it's hysterical, but it's true. So I'm sitting at the intersection of Byberry Road, I live in Warminster, and I'm heading towards Philadelphia. And right at the intersection of Newtown Road, I'm waiting at the light.
Real quick, how many years ago was this?
I'm talking 1989.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to set the stage.
1989.
Okay.
And I'm sitting at a red light in my Mercury Zephyr K car from Chrysler, and a woman with her daughter in the front seat and driving a station wagon plowed into the back of me, maybe doing 50 miles an hour. My car didn't get wrecked. The Mercury Zephyr Super Sport, indestructible Mercury Zephyr Super Sport is what I used to call it, didn't get dented, but I was injured. An ambulance came, took me away, and I went to a doctor, and
Did you go to a doctor or a doctor?
I went to a doctor. Yeah. And well, if Gary went, he'd go to a doctor. I went to a doctor. Okay. And I had some back and neck pain for a little while. Doctor helped me cure that problem, and I was awarded some pain and suffering money, about $10,000, and I used that money to buy my first house.
What made you actually? So I'm curious. So you're young. You get into a car accident. You get $10,000. And, most people would go out party with that $10,000. What made you decide to spend that $10,000 on a piece of real estate instead of what typical people your age at that point would have done?
Well, first of all, because I'm not an idiot.
Well,
okay, but
Dom Giordano says you're brilliant. So.
Okay, so I told you the story about. I met this guy in a bar. I had fake ID before I was 21 years old. I had fake ID because I grew up in an age where driver's licenses didn't have pictures on it, right? And you could actually just type a driver's license on this card. And I'm hanging out in this bar, and I met this guy who said he owned a couple of duplexes. And I knew, what he was talking about, but I said, hey, could we go look at them? Could you show me them and explain it to me? This guy took me over to Tarsdale somewhere, showed me his two properties, toured me through it, introduced me to his tenants, all that stuff. I went home, and I was excited. And my mother is an entrepreneur. My mother was my teacher. My mom taught me everything that I know about business. And I went home and I told Mom about it, and she goes, what are you doing Saturday? I said, I'm not doing nothing. She goes, fine, keep the date clear. We're going out together. My mom called an agent, booked an appointment, had this agent show us a bunch of properties. We went back to the office. After we looked at the properties, the agent sat down and explained the math of real estate and how it works and how you make cash flow and all that stuff. And I had made up my mind sometime around 19, 20 years old that I'm going to be a real estate investor. I just didn't have the means to buy a piece of property until that nice lady smashed into the back of my Mercury Zephyr Super Sport.
Have you called her and thanked her for
the
wonderful career you have?
I should have. But, every once in a while when I'm riding my bike in the park and I ride around that intersection, a warm feeling comes to my heart. That's the place where my real estate career started.
That's pretty exciting. I gotta tell you, it's a pretty exciting story, and it's great to hear that you knew what to do when you were younger. And we have a lot of students that come to us. What's the youngest student we have? An 18-year-old was the youngest student that we had to join the school.
Well, one of our most proudest students was a guy who bought his first house while he was still in high school.
Yeah,
right. Now we have a slightly younger student.
Well, that's true too. We do, but she's not 18 yet. So she literally can't put it under contract. Her parents would, but she probably will. But let's talk about that. The first student, he's 18 years old. He's in high school. He's got 3 more months to graduate. He does his first deal, and he buys his first deal. He makes $10,000 on a wholesale deal before he graduates high school. That's amazing.
Yes, pretty awesome. I wish I had done that. But Dolph DeRoos, if you read, he wrote a book called Real Estate Riches. Mm-hmm. And Dolph DeRoos, I believe, he was thinking about going to college. I forget the story exactly. He was thinking about going to college, and he was thinking about buying real estate, and he bought a piece of real estate, and he made like $35,000 off of it. And he said, what the heck I don't even want to. No, he got offered a job making $35,000 a year or something, and he made like $30,000 off of his first real estate deal. And he said, what the heck do I need to go to take this job for? I'll just be a real estate investor.
Well, how about Andrew? Andrew is another one of our students who he was the Amazon driver. And no joke, he comes knocking on our door one day delivering an Amazon package, asks us what we do. We explain to him, we teach people how to invest in real estate and stock options. And he goes, how can I find out more? I say, show up for the free class. And by the way, you are listening right now. You could go to investorschooling.com and you could sign up for the free class. And whatever we're teaching this Thursday, you'll learn. He loved it so much, became a student. And within 3 months, he made $23,000, which was more than he was making all year as an Amazon driver. The guy, it's amazing, and you get to meet these people and talk to these people. We encourage you to talk to the students on Thursday. Find a student, talk to them, and say how much. Ask them what they do. Dave, I mean, you're a student. I realize you haven't actually hit it yet, but you've watched and listened to some of the other students making money. What do you think of the way we teach so far?
The energy is just like it's off the charts. The camaraderie with all the students is outstanding. You guys that all work in investor schooling. You're available to us, if we have questions, need help. So yeah, I would highly recommend it, definitely.
Yeah, and if you have good coffee, we'll even put you on the radio. You want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, I think we should go to commercial. We should have 4 commercials lined up too.
We'll see. Hey Jim, if there's 4 commercials, set them up. If not, we'll listen to the music coming in. All right, guys, we'll see you right back. We'll see you in a little bit.
Hi, I'm Phil Falcone from Investor.
All right. Welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. I'm Larry Steinhouse. I'm here with Phil Falcone and Dave Hargrave, and we are having fun talking about real estate, stock options, money, coffee, guns, ammo. Wow, how much did we cover in 40 minutes? We covered a lot of stuff, Phil.
We could talk about drones that have chemtrails behind them.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, and that's always a fun conversation, I want to just give out the phone number one more time, 855-939-1137. So if you're listening to the show, 855-939-1137. I realize that we're on at a not normal time because the games are on this afternoon. We're normally on 2 o'clock. But if you listen to the show, you're getting a treat because this is probably we've been told by 2 producers so far this is the best show we've ever put on, and I think it's because of the coffee, right, Dave?
Sure.
I think the coffee has something to do with it.
Yeah. So real quick, so Dave brought us in coffee today. Oh, Pedro didn't get a cup of coffee. You didn't make Pedro a cup of coffee? The guy. He's the one who's making sure your voice sounds good.
I'm like AOC, and that's the help. So.
You know what? I handle the promotions here, so maybe I'll find another coffee guy.
Where's that Dunkin' Donuts?
Right.
What? Real quick, Dave. You were talking on the commercial. You were talking about vets and jobs.
Yeah. If there's any vets out there, if you know any vets that looking for a career change or want to get a job or maybe getting out of the military, go to bridgingthegap.vet, and that nonprofit's partnered with over 100 companies in the area, and there's a lot of they want to hire vets. We get the resumes through the side door, get you right into an interview, and I think like over 600 in the last 3 years.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Cool.
Yeah, I got another idea for vets who are looking for work. You could come to Investor Schooling Thursday night at 7 o'clock.
That's right.
Learn how to be a professional real estate investor. Learn how to be a stock option trader. Learn about the everything about money that we can possibly teach you. You know, there's all kinds of interesting strategies that we employ, such as getting HELOCs, using credit cards to buy houses, financial literacy topics that are all over the place as far as IRAs and retirement plans. And did you know you could buy a house, just like Dave said earlier? Did you know you can buy a house in an IRA? It's amazing. And that house can make rent money, and that rent money goes back into your IRA. It's an amazing way to, 10x your account.
In fact, if you're older and you have to take required minimum distributions out of your IRA, now you're being forced to liquidate your IRA. The greatest way to do this is actually buy a rental property inside your IRA, get rent that goes into your IRA, and take that rent out as your RMD. Now your IRA is actually going up, not going down, because the value of real estate always goes up, just time always goes up, and you're collecting the rent, and that's your RMDs, and you're making money in your IRA instead of losing money in your IRA. These are things that we teach. In fact, I have a book coming out. You know the name of my book, Phil?
What's that?
You know the name of my new book coming out?
Yeah, it's called Money Hacks.
Money Hacks, yeah, exactly. All right, cool. I just want to make sure you're paying attention, man.
By Larry Steinhouse, and the introduction was written by Phil Falcone.
No, it wasn't.
It should have been.
Well, if you'd like to, I could add you to that, because I think that would be great.
You don't think I'd be the perfect person to do that?
Well, I was looking for somebody more famous.
I taught you practically everything you know.
No, you didn't teach me everything I know. You taught me some really valuable skills, and I in return taught you some valuable skills. That's why investor schooling works so well, because we took two of our brains, we put them together, and we almost have one now.
Yeah, I mean, together we're almost a perfect brain.
I know, really.
We've got some other issues between us.
There was only one other perfect brain before us, and that was Einstein.
Well, I actually think he took way too long to come up with E equals MC squared.
Really?
Yeah, it took 10 years to come up with that. Come on, 10 years?
I know, it took me 10 years to figure out.
You know how much real estate you could buy in 10 years?
That's true. Can you buy e to the x power of real estate in 10 years?
I believe Einstein used to have a window, and across the way from where he lived was an insane asylum, and he used to look at the insane asylum out the window and wonder who was more insane, him or the people in the asylum.
You know what? I wonder if somebody in the insane asylum held up a piece of paper that said E equals MC squared, and that's where he figured it out.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah, because, there are lots of times where I hold up a piece of paper and then you figure it out.
Okay. Did you see Bill Kavanaugh's comment?
I do. Why don't you read it?
It says, "If I knew then what I have learned in the last year from you guys, woo, thanks."
Yeah, that's pretty much the impression that we get from everybody who joins investor schooling is they're blown away by the stuff that they learn. We actually sit there in class sometimes. We're looking across the audience, the students, and we're looking at their mouths are wide open, like, wow, I can really do that? Like Dave said a little while ago, wow, I can actually buy a house in my IRA? I never knew that. Did you know, Dave, that you could buy a house in your HSA, your health savings account?
I did not know that.
Yes, you can.
Look, one of the greatest examples about investor schooling success is that Pedro just bought a house for $250 that he actually got paid
$10,000.
$9,750.
Yeah. So the real question is, did you pay the girlfriend back the $250 though?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. What's so impressive about that is, Pedro went to public school. He's not the brightest bulb in the world, but look what he did.
I actually went to Catholic school.
I gotta tell you, I think Pedro's pretty smart. If he hasn't figured, in fact, if
anytime I can take a shot at public school, I do it.
No, I know. But if Pedro wasn't so smart, your voice wouldn't sound this good. And Dom Giordano wouldn't say that you're the most brilliant person he's ever met because of the voice.
Well, I actually didn't hear him say that, but it would be nice if you got that on tape.
Well, we could try, but you do know what I'm going to play now, right?
Go ahead.
He sounds like a mafioso shyster.
That didn't work.
Okay. So you guys want to talk about one of these topics?
Sure, let's go.
How about the house I just acquired way under market value?
Oh yeah, I do remember that. It took you 3 years to get that one?
Not that long.
Okay.
No, I mean I met this guy in the gym, and
Were you in the sauna?
back when I was wearing my I Buy Houses shirts.
Were you
right?
in the sauna?
No, I wasn't in the
There's no
sauna. Let's.
sauna.
Okay. No, I was not in the sauna.
Okay.
I met this
I just
guy.
want to make sure the guy didn't sell you the house for another reason.
Okay, well, Larry, you seem to have a thing where you always want to talk about certain topics. Get
can
your
say-
mind
you-
off of sex, man.
you
This is
can-
a show
yeah.
about money.
Well, sex and money are the same thing.
No, they're not.
They're not? Oh, okay.
I don't know how you have sex, but I don't.
Hey, you want a $100 bill?
So I met this guy in the gym, and I was wearing my I Buy Houses T-shirt at the gym one time. By the way, I just went out and bought 12 more brand new I Buy House T-shirts. I'm gonna start wearing them again because I know they just make you money. I know it. And I'm wearing that shirt at the gym, and the guy started talking to me, and he said, my mom's getting pretty old. I'm gonna need to sell her house, blah blah blah. And I would call him from time to time, keep in touch with him. I probably called him once every 6 months, something like that. Kept in touch with him. And make a long story short, when Ida came in and whacked their house, and their house was in a flood zone, and the basement got terribly flooded, finally they were ready. And he called me, right? And then I went around and did a whole marketing campaign to a bunch of houses that were also flooded. So did a bunch of students at the school Monday night. They all put out on Facebook, I buy houses flooded from Hurricane Ida.
Yeah, we told them to do that. And,
Yes.
and it was funny. They got a couple of responses, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did some?
Yeah, a couple people got some responses. I don't know if they actually bought the house, but they got responses. People were responding to it, and that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to get yourself out there, even if they don't even if they don't sell the house based on that post. People have seen posts from Dave or from you or from me or from Pedro or anyone else, and that means they know that you're actively buying houses. In fact, that's how Jamie, our senior student liaison, one of our employees, bought her first house. She put a post on Facebook, I buy houses. And she kept posting and posting and posting. And somebody finally reached out to her and says, hey, yeah, I want to sell a house. And then she's actually living in that house. And the house is beautiful now.
For half the market value.
Yeah, for half the market value. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I should have got a commission check for that.
You did. Every day she comes to work.
Nah, I'm happy to help, Jamie. She's
Exactly.
wonderful.
Exactly. All right. So what else is? So what other exciting stuff happened to you this week?
What other exciting stuff happened to me?
That's what I asked. Yes.
Well, I bought these new T-shirts,
Yes.
so I'm excited about that. And do you think that a T-shirt that costs you $16 can make you money? Like, could make you $100,000? I think it's possible.
Yeah, that just happened for you.
Right.
Sort of.
Where do you get these shirts at?
I go to there's a place called
Tommy T. We have a student that we get him. It's Tommy T Sportswear is one of our students, and he actually makes our investor schooling shirts. You get the students from him. If you guys want to reach out and contact us, we'll tell you how to get a hold of Tommy T.
Yeah, that's right.
He's-
Tommy T, man. Tommy T.
He's just a great guy. He's like, he does a lot for the school, and it's just, again, great guy. Also, he's doing a lot of stuff with real estate too. He never did real estate in his life before, or stock options.
Till he came here.
Right, now he came here, and now I don't know, I was looking at some of the numbers he made. It has to be well over $100,000 that he made last year in between lending money and also in real estate deals.
Just the deal that he bought off of me, because I sometimes will wholesale properties.
Right.
By the way, that's another benefit of investor schooling. If you don't know what wholesaling is, you better get your butt to investor schooling 7 p.m. this Thursday night. But what also happens is that sometimes if I get a house under contract and maybe I don't have the money to buy this house, or maybe I don't want to buy this house, I don't want it to be part of my portfolio, I'll bring it to the school and I'll sell it to somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tommy bought a property off of me. I think I made $15,000 off of that property, selling my property to Tommy. Tommy then went and renovated that property, and he made like whatever.
I don't know. I think like $50,000 he made on that property. I'm not sure.
There was a lot of spread in it.
Yeah,
There was a decent amount of spread in it.
Sure, excellent. All right, cool. By the way, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. We're live on the radio, and if you guys want to call and ask us any questions about anything, we are here for your entertainment.
So,
right?
Larry, why don't you talk a little bit about why you recommend to our students that we apply for credit cards, we apply for loans, and we apply for home equity lines of credit?
Yeah, especially right now. So what's going on right now is it's easier. We're still not 2006 and 7 where all you had to do to get a loan was fog a mirror. We're not there. We probably won't be there ever again. But it's the easiest time you're going to have right now to get credit cards, to get home equity loans, and to get mortgages that you're probably going to see in the next 10 years. So my suggestion is get whatever you can. The greatest thing that I ever learned, matter of fact, I used to work for a company, remember Crazy Eddie?
Yep.
And Eddie Antar, although he was a crook, he used to say something.
Nobody's perfect.
I know. Exactly. But before he was a crook, or before he became a big crook, I guess, he used to say something that I held for a long, long time and still do, and it's something I live by, which is get money when you don't need it, because when you need it, you can't get it. So borrow money when you don't need it, because when you need it, you can't get it. So the best thing to do is have money lined up and ready to go. Because when the economy turns, and it's going to, my prediction is we got about another year before we see a major turn. And when I say a major turn, it doesn't mean that, we're going to go into a depression or a recession. It just means that you're going to really know that the market is turned. And that's going to be about another year. And then you're going to see it start to fall down slowly or fast. It really doesn't matter. But if you have credit available, if you have home equity loans available, and even if you have nothing on them, it doesn't matter. You owe nothing. You'll be able to use them, which is great. If you have credit cards, you'll be able to use this credit to go buy houses or buy properties that are now so undervalued, and no one else is able to buy them because banks stop giving loans when property values go down, which makes absolutely no sense. Why would a bank openly give loans when the houses are too much, and then not openly give loans when the houses are too low? But that's typically how it works. So now you'll be ready to buy it. My suggestion is save up, even cash. We talked about silver earlier, but even cash. Have $10,000, have $20,000 cash tucked aside, so you could even put a down payment on something that no one else can buy because you have the money and they don't. Like Executech Suites was a great example, Phil. You bought that what year?
2006.
All right, so you bought that in 2006, right? And if you tried to buy that now with what you had then, you wouldn't be able to buy it. You wouldn't be able to buy that house with $10,000 in the bank now, because they're much more wise. Not wise, actually, they're stupider. The banks are stupider now, but they're more wise to looking at your financials and saying, hey, I don't think he can afford this. Where in 2006 you could, and it was the greatest thing you ever did was buy. As a matter of fact, it's probably the greatest piece of real estate you ever bought, and you bought a lot of great real estate.
Yeah, but that deal, that's such an amazing deal, just because the realtor, who was, by the way, there were two realtors, the senior realtor and the junior realtor, and if they had just asked me one question, hey, Phil, you're an interesting kind of guy, but you would need $475,000 to buy this property. Show us the money before we sign the contract. They never asked that question. They allowed me to sign a contract with $10,000 in the bank, which they never even asked to see.
Yeah, which is amazing. Right.
So they really, really did not do a service for their client. If you are a real estate agent, don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Okay? If you are a real estate agent, and you're the buyer, that's a different story. Okay? But if you are representing a seller, do not allow anyone to get a property under contract without evidence of the funds.
And then just getting back to the beginning of the conversation, have money ready to go, have loans ready to go. You're the only one who's going to be able to buy this stuff. And if you could buy a house that today is going for $150,000 and you could buy it for $90,000 2 years from now because you're the only one who could come up with the money, you're going to be really happy 5 years from then. What do you think? Should we bring in the Sultan or?
Yeah, before you bring him in, I just want to say one thing. I right now am re-energized more than ever to go out and just buy a bunch
I've
of real
noticed that.
estate. I just feel like I got my 87th wind, and I'm ready to just go on a buying spree again. And I'm working on all kinds of ways to get some more money and still look for my no money down deals. I'm using PropStream, and I really like it.
Great.
And I see a very bright future for me. I'm very proud of myself.
Well, it's amazing. I've actually noticed you turn it on lately, and that's pretty wild. I mean, you're like you're buzzing. This radio show is a perfect example of who you are right now. So you're in total mania. Keep it up and keep buying properties.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind one thing, like what was happening when Trump was still president. I 2x'd my stock option account.
Yeah, right, sure.
And I was thinking at that point, like, I'm heading to $1 million. I'm heading to $2 million, right? And then, then something happens.
Yeah, then you got a couple of bad plays. But that's another thing that's part of what we teach when we teach in stock options trading. We're saying take money off the table, because if you're going to do high risk, and stock options are high risk, we teach you to take money off the table and maybe put it aside for real estate. Or one of the things that I recommend, if you have a lot of real estate and you have mortgages on these real estate, is pay some of the mortgages down. So this is money that's safe and you can't touch it anymore, which is a great reason to put it into that. And matter of fact, I just paid off 2 properties with stock options, and I don't have to worry about paying them anymore. Now I have HELOCs on them, and they're just waiting for me to do something with them, which is pretty cool too. All right, so we are like, I don't know, we got like 2 minutes. What do you think?
2 minutes?
Yeah, so we want to talk about the stock. Want me to come up with some quick plays real quick? All
Yeah,
right.
sure. Tell people what you're thinking.
All right, so here we go. All right, so real quick, let's talk about some stuff that's out there. Out there right now, so I'm still a big fan of Apple. I think Apple's at a great number right now. Now, understand that Apple at 147, which it is right now, is a great number for the stock. For a stock option, I might want to see it below 144 before I jumped in again. And I actually just took a bit of money off the table on Apple the other day, made a bunch of money on that. Facebook blew my mind the other day. I actually called this on Monday on my show, on my Money Chat Now show. I told people to buy Facebook at that price. What it was about 342-ish. And I said, everybody buy it, buy it, buy it. I bought it. I actually bought it and sold it already. I don't even have it anymore because it happened so fast. I made 35% in 3 days because it actually hit 352 yesterday, or 353 yesterday. I even sold it before I was up $2 yesterday and went up $5 more after I sold it. And I still made 35%. So that's a great play. I'd like to see Facebook go back down if we can get lucky, and it could go down below 346 or 347 and get to ride it again, because it's going into earnings and it's going to be easy. I would say there's a 70% chance, just statistics off my head, of the fact that we're going to have Facebook at 400 before the end of the year. Phil, I think you got to take us out of here.
All right, well, we're going out of here in about 20 seconds, so I just want to say thanks to our producer today, who is...
Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly.
And Pedro.
And Pedro. And we are out of here.
InvestorSchooling.com.
This program is a paid commercial announcement and an...
All right, guys, have a good one.
Thanks, buddy.
Or its management.
Take care.
That was fun.